Most students want to develop their fluency in a foreign language. They want to be able to speak it, and often it's the focus of many courses that teachers run. What many people might not know, though, is that there's a strong link between reading and developing your fluency when speaking a foreign language. It's a certain type of reading, and in this video I'm going to take you through, first of all, a little bit of research on the topic to demonstrate that it has been proven on several occasions that reading leads to fluency. But then I'm going to show you a great technology, AI technology, that we can use to develop our reading skills and hopefully to help us with our fluency. So this idea is taken from a presentation that I gave at the Eastern Mediterranean University in Famagusta, Cyprus. It was sponsored by Equals, and I was focusing on key technologies that can really impact on the way that we learn languages. Really hope you like the video. Let's get started. So one of the most interesting people in this area, linguists, is Paul Nation. He is arguing that obviously when we speak, what's often difficult for us is that we know the vocabulary, we're familiar with it, we understand it, but we can't actually use it and retrieve it and make use of it when we're speaking. And that through reading, and that is becoming more and more familiar with the language that we already know, it becomes more automized. It becomes easier for us to retrieve that language and therefore use it when we speak. It's rather like kind of going to the gym and working your muscle. You're trying to build up your active vocabulary. Remember, it's your active vocabulary is the language that you actually use when you're speaking. So passively, you might understand many more words than you use when you actively speak. So by reading a lot, but reading things that are familiar, reading things where you're not continually looking to check words in a dictionary, but rather you're just reading and reading and reading, and you're kind of working your language, that is the key. But then the question becomes, well, how familiar do you need to be with the text? Is it okay if there's one or two words that you don't understand? And this is really, really important. So Paul Nation talks about the difference between intensive reading, which is really reading where you're trying to learn new words, where you're extracting language, you're analyzing language, and extensive reading, where you're really reading for fluency and you're processing the language that you already have. And what Paul Nation points out is for extensive reading to take place, you need about 98% coverage of the language. So an interesting study that you might want to look at if you want evidence of this is what's known as the Fiji book flood study. And in this study, there were three groups of students. One group who carried on in the normal way, having their lessons. They had very little exposure to English outside of class anyway. The second group were read to. The teacher read high interest books to them, and then often these books were discussed in the class. And then the third group were given access to lots of reading material and books that they were interested in. What was proven was that over a period of time, those students in groups 2 and 3 really developed their fluency, even improved their writing, and of course their reading and their vocabulary. So exposure to lots of reading material at the right level seemed to have a big impact on their language learning, and not only on their reading skills, but also on their vocabulary, on their fluency, and even on their writing. Okay, we've looked at the research. If you're finding the video useful, please click on the like button because it really helps to boost my YouTube channel. And I'm always struggling with so many AI videos now that are on these different social networks. Just one other thing as well, if you do want to follow more of my work, the best thing to do is to sign up to the newsletter. I'll put the QR code on the screen. I'll also put it in the description below, or you can go over to my website, teachertrainingvideos.com, and sign up from there. You'll get updated with all the latest videos and information about research and tools that we can use for language learning and for language teaching. Right, let's move on then and look at this tool that I really am a big fan of. So you will need a Google account. I want you to click on Google and go to Gemini. But when you go to Gemini, I want you to do something specific. I want you to click on Gems. And then what I want you to look at is something called Storybooks. Now you can actually just write the instructions, write me a storybook. Let me start by showing you what a storybook looks like. I'm going to show you one that I produced recently. So here is a typical storybook I produced. You can produce a storybook of up to 10 pages. You just tell Google Gemini what you want, and I'll show you in a minute. You can control the vocabulary, the characters, the story, the context, absolutely everything. Let's just listen for a few seconds.
Russell's big weekend in Krakow. Russell was very excited. He sat on the plane and looked at a map of Poland. He was flying to the city of Krakow for the weekend. He wanted to see.
Okay, and you can see it plays through the story. You can control it and stop it, and you can just flick on and move on to the story. You don't have to listen if you want to. If you want to read it, you can just read it as well. Notice that it's got pictures as well. So when you generate these stories, and you can of course generate them in other languages, and I generally use them for French and for Polish. Polish is the language I'm currently studying. You're going to get pictures, the text and the audio. The thing to understand though is that you have massive control over this content. Now, another important thing to remember is that you can share these stories, and in fact your students don't even need to have a Gmail account. So if you want to share a story, just click on this button here and it would produce a link, and you can share that story with your students. So not only is this a good tool for your students to learn to use, but of course it's great for teachers as well. So let's make a story together. So I'm going to click on New Chat. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Gems, and then I'm going to click on Storybook. But you can just actually just write, make me a storybook about, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm now going to ask for a storybook, but I'm going to be very specific about the vocabulary that I want to practice. I've actually got some words here that I want to practice. Now, this is actually what I really am doing currently in Polish, but I'm going to do this example in English. I've got some phrases here. And at the moment in Polish, I'm studying football commentary because I watch the television and I want to understand the football commentary. But we'll do this in English. So I'm just going to copy these words. And I'm going to come back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Gemini to write me a story, but I want to include that vocabulary. So I'm going to click on this button. You can just write and give the instructions to Google Gemini, but you can just click on this button as well here. Now, I actually have a pro account, but I can absolutely promise you that this will work in Flashlight, which is what you've got on the free account, or in Flashlight. You may have Flash 3.5 now. I'm using Pro because after a long time I decided to buy or pay for Gemini, but you can do this with the free account. It's exactly the same. You probably get restricted on the number of stories that you can produce in a day. So I'm going to click here. Can you make me a story about a young boy playing football, and he's in the cup final and playing in a very important match, and he scores the winning goal? And can you include the following vocabulary? Just stop that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the vocabulary that I want. Okay, so I've just added all those words as well. Okay, and now I'm going to click on this button here, and I'm hoping it's going to produce a storybook. But the storybook's going to include the story of the young boy. I could have given him a name, etc., etc. I could be very specific about the story if I want to. I'm just demonstrating this idea. But what is really important is that I've included specific vocabulary that I want to practice. So let's just wait a minute and see what story is produced. So here's the story. I won't click on the listening button. I'm just going to flick through because I want to point out that I can see that the words that I want to include are there. Kick off, okay, and here, for example, I can see the word clean sheet. So the story includes all the vocabulary that I want to work. Now remember, the vocabulary is vocabulary that I already know. The whole idea is that we're working with vocabulary that we already know, but we want to become more and more familiar with it. And this is exactly what I'm doing at the moment in Polish. So my level of Polish is around about B1. And normally when I ask Storybooks to generate a story for me in Polish. I'm asking for that story to be at level A2 or A2B1. So I'm trying to always make sure that when I'm reading the story, 98% of the vocabulary I'm going to understand. Okay, really hope you liked that video, and if you did, please click on the like button, and of course please think about subscribing to my YouTube channel. I think that's a great technology both for language teachers but also for language learners. If you're working on your own, it's a great tool for making stories and practicing and following that principle of keeping the level below your level. Now, I make lots of videos about language learning and using technologies to learn language. And a very popular one that I've got on YouTube at the moment is one about Gemini, and it shows you 5 features in Gemini. Today we've only looked at 1, and if you're interested in that video, I'll put that up on the screen now, and you can watch that. And one final thing, some people have asked me, well, Russell, how do you make your videos? What technology do you use? And are you AI? I'm definitely not AI. And if you want to learn how I actually make my videos and the technology that I use, then watch that video that's on the screen now. And thank you very much. Okay, really hope you liked that video, and if you did, then please come over to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos. Look at all the different menu items at the top of the screen here. If you're a teacher and you want to keep up a little bit more with the work I do, we often organize webinars, online courses, etc., then sign up to the newsletter. And if you sign up to the newsletter, there is a free 14-part mini video course in using technology in language teaching, and nearly everything I suggest is free. If you want to take it a little bit further, then think about joining me on Patreon. If you join Patreon, you get extra videos every month with no advertising. I just go straight into the training, lots of ideas about how you can use the technologies in the class with your students, and you also get the chance to meet me online once a month for some direct training, and that's a real opportunity for you to practice using the technologies with me. And finally, if you want to go even further, join me on my very popular course, Technologies and Approaches to Blended, Hybrid and Online Teaching. I do that in collaboration with NILE, that is the Norwich Institute for Language Education, a very prestigious organisation in the UK. And that course has been running for many years and is very popular. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave a few more videos on the screen now that you might find useful.